Hi, Manisha. Thank you so much for joining us on Blitz Business. It's good to have you.
Hi Ashish, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Awesome. So, Manisha, first tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am Manisha Zaveri and I'm the Joint Managing Director of Career Mosaic. We are based out of South Asia with our headquarters in India. And we are a study abroad master recruiting consulting agency, which means that we are a bridge between students who aspire to study abroad, the universities who are looking for international students who are qualified and genuinely interested in studying abroad, and the counselors who are the on ground support to students in their local schools or colleges or in their local cities. So it's like a bridge between three different entities in the study abroad industry, or the study abroad space.
Understood. So, what is the current trend? A lot of people going outside.
Well, the current trend, we've been around for 20 years now. We started as a company that helped students from India to analyze their academic strengths and what would be the right fit of universities for them to study abroad. And over a period of the last 20 years, the trends have only gone up, and above, where students have been coming from diverse backgrounds, diverse geographical backgrounds of India, even diverse economic backgrounds of India. Everybody looking to study abroad that comes to us have very specific aspirations in terms of academic goals, in terms of career objectives, in terms of why they have chosen a particular country to study abroad. So I think the Indian student market has become much more mature and knowledgeable in terms of why are they opting to study abroad and what do they want to study. They are well researched and they're looking for good, genuine advice. And if you see the latest numbers, around 8,50,000 students went abroad last year from India. In the top destinations that they have gone are US, of course, which has always been number one destination. Canada, very close to that. UK, Australia. But then students are also opting for Ireland, Germany, Switzerland. So it's a really exciting time for students in India because so many opportunities lie out there, and universities and countries, in fact, are super excited to have Indian students come and study at their universities. So it's a really like a happy students market out there right now.
Yes, because yeah, so Manisha, yes. So, what are the top courses currently in demand?
The top courses in demand are a wide range of subjects that fall under the STEM category, which includes all kinds of science programs, technology, engineering, and mathematic programs. It also includes analytical sciences or analytical management programs and analytics from business and financial management perspectives. So, any and every degree that falls under STEM category is extremely popular for students who are moving out of India to study abroad. The definition of STEM globally has also become very wide. So, computer science, data engineering, artificial intelligence, robotics, engineering, all kinds of engineering from electrical to aeronautical is also very popular. Renewable energy is another science field which is extremely popular. Sustainable energy, a whole bunch of health programs from public health to movement sciences to sport management, sport tech. So it's a very wide range, but all of these, if you analyze, fall under the STEM category. These are the most popular programs that students are choosing when opting to study abroad.
But don't we have enough engineers, Manisha?
Yeah, but the mindset of what an engineer is has also changed over a period of time. Like liberal arts, for example, which is a concept where you have to think, beyond the obvious. It's not just math, but it's creative imagination. Now, all kinds of technology in the future does need creative imagination. So it's not really just building bridges and buildings anymore, and building tech is not just engineers. You need a wide and deep knowledge of various aspects of computer sciences. You need a deep aspect. You need creative thinking. You need an idea and concept around creative design as well. So the uh, I think engineering, say the concept has moved to creation. So any and everybody who can contribute to creation is an innovator, is the next leader, whether it's a business leader or a tech leader.
And in terms of universities, which are the top preference for students going from India? Like they want to go number one, two, three, four. What are those top three, top five universities they are looking to?
So, interestingly, if you see 10, 15, even 20 years ago, there was a trend where wealthy families or students who are high achievers would come and say that, we only want to go to the top universities. Now, the whole concept of top is a little misunderstood in India. What is the meaning of top? Right? A university may be ranked in a country for different parameters. Maybe it's ranked number one for its business program, but not so much for its engineering program. Or maybe it's ranked number one for its career prospects or career opportunities that students get out of it, but maybe not so much for another aspect. So the concept of top is no longer what it used to be. What students are looking at right now is, does this university have a reputable name? Is it accredited in its own country or region? Does it offer business programs which are taught by faculty and not just taught by graduate students? What are the career services that a university is offering? What is the setting that the university is based out of? Is it rural? Is it urban? Or is it semi-urban? What kind of internships or job opportunities are possible after I graduate from this university? So these are the type of questions that are being asked, and that's the right direction in which students should plan. And I'm very happy to see the shift happening, because students no longer come and say, I want to go to this top university. They actually say, give me a university that fits all of these different parameters. And extremely important also is the budget, that this is my budget. And for a country like US, where you have more than 3,800 universities offering admission to international students, it's a very, very wide, very wide options that you have, where many universities can fit the bill, and then you can pick and choose from that.
But still, you need to give me some names. Like, कुछ तो preference होगा किसी का. Like these are the universities they want to go to or something.
I think some of the top takers in US especially, sorry, bad timing. I think some of the top takers in US especially, ranges from the California State Universities and the University of California systems, which are one of the top takers of international students. Then you have the UT systems, the University of Texas systems are many different universities. They take a lot of international students. A lot of international students are interested in studying in Texas. Then you have Northeastern, Arizona State Universities. So these are all, the state of Missouri also has a big capacity to take a lot of international students. New York, New Jersey have always been top takers. So I think instead of singling out one university, one should look at overall state and system, because many universities operate under that state and system. And I would say they are the top takers.
Understood. Understood. Now let's shift a little bit on to the budget piece. I think that's very important for students and to be able to finance. And so, what is a typical cost for a university master's program in US? And the
Masters.
second part of the question is, are student able to get scholarships?
Okay, so if we're talking specifically for master's programs in USA, the fee could range anywhere between $20,000 to $40,000 on an average. So it ranges widely. uh, Scholarships for graduate students, students who are going for master's degree, the scholarships for international students are very limited. They're not very common, and even if they are granted, they are not very large. So it's only limited to the very top creme de la creme sort of students. But there are other opportunities to compensate for your study, for your tuition fees, such as grants. You can even opt for applying for scholarship once you finish a semester and prove your track record. Uh, at undergrad level in USA, the scholarships are available, and there are quite a few, and they can go up to 20, 30, or sometimes even $40,000 annually. And undergrads do have quite a lot. but graduate not so much, not very high numbers. And yeah, like I said, the fee for a graduate could range anywhere between 20,000 to 40,000 US dollars annually.
Any top scholarships or scholarships people may not be aware you want to share with us that they should definitely apply and consider?
Yeah, I think all students must apply to that particular university scholarship. Each university has different categories of scholarship. You've got president scholarship, dean scholarship. You have the general international student fund that you can apply to. Very top high achievers in schools and colleges out of India must try for the Fulbright. Indian, I mean, your whatever country you come from, there are grants that your country can offer to students. So one must apply wherever possible and hope for the best, but don't rule out the fact that you must ask the university. You may get tuition waivers on different for different parameters. You may even be offered teaching assistantship or research assistantship, where these are ways to compensate for your fees basically when you're on
Understood.
campus eventually.
So, what was the motivation for you, Manisha, to start this business or enter into this business?
So, this is a 20-year-old company, and back in the day when we were fresh graduates, me and my co-director, co-partner, uh, we realized that there is a huge question mark amongst Indian students in terms of where to start. Like, how do I even begin the process of shortlisting universities? How do I know where to apply? How to apply? The internet did not have a lot of information. Google, when with Google, it's like a mini a conundrum where there's too much information and you don't know how to filter. You don't know what to do about that. So we started with the intention of helping students understand the process, understand how to highlight your strengths, how to put your own terms and conditions in terms of what is your shortlisting process, right? Like figure out what's your budget, what is your own percentage, how much can you score on TOEFL or IELTS, and accordingly match yourself to the right university. So when we started back in the day, this funda that we used to carry was matching the right student to the right. That continues till date, where we opt to ensure that even the right university should have the right student. Over a period of time, we have evolved the company in a way where we are heavily invested in understanding universities. What does a university want in terms of a student? What kind of programs are they looking to recruit and enroll international students in? What is the how much can they push in terms of offering scholarships or tuition waivers? What are the different concessions that they can offer to our students? So we have invested heavily in understanding universities also. So for us, it's like a matchmaker. We know the universities very well on one side, and we understand the psyche of our South Asian students, and we make a match where even the universities end up getting the right kind of students. Everybody's job becomes easier, right? When you find the right match, it's a smoother process. There's less anxiety. Students are more sure about securing admission. They are already aware in advance as to what is the finance that they will be shelling out. Their families are better prepared when they know exactly where they are going, where they are headed. So yeah,
I
that
think
was the whole purpose of starting the business.
I think in this space we had people coming in from who provide international accommodation to international financing. I mean, we are completing the entire chain. There was one company I told them, "You can you provide matchmaking also for life partners?" Since they were doing like you just enter to them, they sort your education, loan, finance, jobs. But it's interesting space, interesting space.
Yeah,
So one perception, at least I or people within my circle we have, which could be wrong, is in terms of jobs, right? Is it now easy or difficult to find job in US if you are from a tier 2 university, tier 3 university? What is that scenario as of now? Because ultimately you need to have an ROI on 40 which you are investing,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
You need to make
Yeah.
money out of it. And especially the concern, I mean, of H1B, right? I mean, it's a lottery system. Considering all these challenges and parameters. So, what is your understanding and take in terms of how easy is it for a international grad to get a job as of?
So, depends on a couple of different factors. One is what did you study, and what is your area of work. So, if you're from in US especially, if you're from a STEM background, and you come from a tier one or a tier two university, then it's a great space for you. STEM students have been offered an ability to stay up to 3 years to work. Right, you get your OPT, which is your optional practical training, as soon as you finish your studies, and then you can extend that all the way up to 3 years. Why did US introduce something like this? Why did they introduce an extended work permit for STEM students? Is because they require these people. They need these kind of students which have the talent and the expertise for STEM careers, and they want to retain these students. So once you're out of a STEM degree from a decent university, like I said, tier A or B, uh, it's pretty good as far as US is concerned. We don't have any difficulty in terms of, or any feedback from that sort from top universities. Now when I say top, again, tier 1 is like upper top. Like the tier 2 universities in USA is a massive 2000 options. So this is a
Wow.
huge range of universities where you can find STEM programs, and you will find career services which will enable you to secure a decent job. Again, the second parameter to secure that is where did you study from in terms of location. Right, I mean, are you in one of those hubs where there is a bustling corporate life, or are you studying in a very rural setup? What kind of jobs are around you? Of course, there's a lot of mobility that students have. I mean, nobody sticks to that same city or state. Once they graduate, they do move out. But the start, if it happens somewhere around you, it's better. And that's why regions like California, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Missouri, Illinois, Texas, these are very big and strong thriving hubs. So I think Indian students should look for urban centers or states where there are multiple urban centers, and be somewhere around it. And once you check these 2 3 boxes, I think for STEM students, not a problem, not a problem. You asked, what if a student is coming from a tier 3 or a lower level of university? Well, it is tougher because your degree doesn't have as much credibility because your university was not so great. So for those students, it is a bit of a struggle, but not for otherwise. And like I said, tier 1 and 2 itself is like a massive range of 2000 plus universities. So ideally, students must study well, get a good percentage, do your English test, do your GREs, and apply to a wide range of universities. And I don't see why they cannot get in. They can get in.
Okay. What? So let me try to rephrase. What are the things a student must not do or should be careful when applying, or something they should avoid totally, or some universities they should avoid, or something they should be very careful for first time people applying for?
What they should be careful about is to ensure that this is a proper accredited, well established university. It can't sound dubious. It should have a proper campus. It should have credibility in terms of accreditation, right? Does that own country or state recognize the existence of this university? Talk to the online community. Students these days are very well connected with their peers even without knowing them or ever meeting them. So talk to the online community of students to understand what exactly is this university all about. Always prefer to apply to established universities. And when I say established, anything in the business more than 10 years, 20 years is absolutely established. Because in the US, UK, you have universities which are like set up in 1800s and 1900s, so they have a long history. But if you come across a small little university, you have to be very careful to verify all of these things.
Any names which you can recall?
Those universities have shut down. There were certain dubious cases that happened in not in any particular country, I would say. Australia mein hua hai, Canada mein hua hai, it's happened in UK, US, and a lot of students suffered when that happened. This was, I think, about 10, 12 years ago, where universities were made to shut down because they were not valid institutions. Students had to suffer. But I think now the market is much more evolved. Thanks to internet, social media, students are very evolved and aware about things. They're very, very, open and understand, and they have a good understanding of things.
Let's talk a little bit about Canada. So recently, I was going for visa application for UK, and the Canadian one was next to it, and it was fully empty. And and when 6 months back, when I was going for Schengen visa, I saw again it was full. So what is the current scenario like with respect to Canada? People are going, not going. What has happened with Canada? I mean, there is so much news, so much everything happening to keep track. So should people go for Canada now? Is it expensive? Not worth it? We have seen videos where people are lining up for jobs, for simple jobs, like big lines.
Yeah.
So what's your take?
So I think any country as a study abroad destination, the whole ecosystem has to support the international student, right? From having students come on campus, is the campus culturally sensitive? Is the environment culturally sensitive to your presence? Are there any opportunities for a student to recover the income, recover the money spent on education? So jobs are important, on campus opportunities are important, cultural safety is important, uh, a smooth and clear immigration policy is also very important. So unfortunately with Canada, what has happened is a lot of a talk and a lot of the recent cap that happened for international students has really thrown people off in terms of, will they be admitted? If admitted, will they even get a visa? If they get a visa, would there even be housing, or would there be jobs? So a lot of negatives that have happened have put off the Indian student, and there is a big drop in students opting to go for Canada, and that's why you did not see those queues happening. um, Students who are going to top universities in Canada, like really, the good universities, need not worry, because these are reputable universities, and only genuine students are admitted to these universities. So those should not worry. But anything other than that, these SDS colleges, I guess, for some time, be a little cautious. Don't overreact to news. Read news and understand your options and opportunities, and then look for a backup uh, if required. Otherwise, just apply and be confident about it. So I would not encourage any knee jerk reactions to any kind of policies that come across. The students don't need to panic, but you have to be cautious and have your options open, have backup plans.
But why is Canada doing these things?
Canada is doing what Canada. I guess one of the main things is that, see, the thing is, exponential student growth from international countries needs to be supported with jobs and housing both, right? You have to have all of that infrastructure also. You can't have excess number of students coming in but not balancing that with what a student needs to survive and thrive in that market. So there are some provinces in Canada which have an excess, but there are many other provinces which have a balanced growth. There is no excess international student population. And ideally, it should have been a province wise policy where, provinces which have a very huge influx could limit it. Provinces which don't have a huge influx can continue taking more international students, and they would be willing and happy to do that. So I think the country is trying to recalibrate, rethink, and understand as to how do they need to, what should their messaging be as far as their international student policy is concerned. And then I guess the next term, things will change, things will open up. They will have a better way of dealing with the international students coming in, and a better spread across all provinces instead of few provinces getting excessive students.
And Then sort of then moving on. So Manisha, what concerns you? For example, now AI is there, technology is coming in. So AI from both perspective has a business for you and versus for student, right? I mean, layoffs are happening in left, right, center in India, globally. People are quoting AI for multiple perspectives. That's one aspect. But so two questions in this: how AI will impact you. Will it take your job, first of all? Then the second question is, will it impact students who are graduating now, or what do they need?
I think, will it impact the job of people who operate in the study abroad industry? I think it augments and improves their job. We use AI for multiple different reasons, and things have become just better, more clear, faster. Uh, we've not had any layoffs. In fact, our entire team uses AI for different reasons. Our platform uses AI as well. So it's a huge boost to our industry, but it does not take away from the industry. In fact, it adds to the industry. For students, I think AI is a massive tool, right? Keeping plagiarism and cheating and all of that aside, AI is a great learning tool. It helps students learn better. It helps teachers customize and tailor make study programs also for students. So there are lots and lots of benefits to AI as far as the education sector is concerned. Um, Taking away jobs of students who are graduating, I think those redundant, very mechanical kind of jobs where you're doing basic analysis or you're doing basic data work, of course all of that would be taken away. Those are not high skilled, they were not high skilled jobs as such, but computers have anyways taken over all of those skills. And it's like AI is a tool that you have to learn how to leverage your career from that tool. If you're a data engineer, or if you're in the business of engineering, coding, math, finance, all of that, I think students must understand that how do I leverage from AI based on whatever it is that I have studied, and not fear it as I'm going to be replaced by AI. You're not going to be replaced by AI if you know how to leverage from AI. And internationally, I think I can tell you, for US especially, universities do recognize that students have to think on those terms, and coursework also reflects that this is what you're studying, this is the age of AI, how do we combine the two? So students are being empowered, I would say, in knowing how to leverage from AI. Yeah, so that I think is something that is something to look forward to and not be afraid of. You were referring to massive layoffs, that happened in the tech industry, especially. That is attributed to the massive hiring that happened during COVID time. So in COVID time, there was a huge amount of hiring that happened. Companies, grew exponentially. Now it has plateaued, and this is a correction. I wouldn't say that they are being laid off because they are of no use anymore. That's not the point. The point is that it's a correction. It's like stock market goes crazy high and then there is a correction. So it's very unfortunate that something like that happens, but it's not like the world all over and every industry of the world is laying people off because there's AI now. That's not the case.
Fair enough, fair enough. And there is this fascination with West, and we also kept discussing right now, also going to US and all. Is it justified till now, like the dream to move to US, study there, or are people opting for different countries altogether, which you may have seen or you want to recommend or something? Or should someone just stick to US and just blindly follow the beat?
That's a very good question, Ashish. No, I would strongly suggest that you pick a country based on what you want to study. uh, what is your long term 5 years, 10 years plan, and how much do you want to spend? So for example, if you're going for a STEM degree, please opt for US. I would strongly suggest that. I'm a parent myself. If my child comes up and says that this is what I want to do, I would say I think you should go to the US. But if you belong to any other kind of academic, if any other kind of academic interests are in your in your realm, then there are many other options to consider. For technology itself, not just US, for tech itself, we're seeing students go to Ireland, we're seeing students go to Germany, to Scandinavian countries for tech innovations. So there is a segment of Indian students who do not follow the bheed, as you said, and will opt for other destinations. Also, because there are these interesting different opportunities in other destinations, um, from the overall environment, from the culture, from the access to Europe as a land of opportunity, from the fact that some of these countries are also very innovative in nature, and it's not just the US, right? Germany, Scandinavian countries. Ireland is considered a hub for tech. Like, so all of these big tech players out of the US, their next big hub is in Ireland, and that offers a great opportunity for students to go to study and settle down. So certainly do not follow the bheed, and analyze what you want to study, why you want to study this, where do you want to end up 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and how much are you wanting to spend, how much can you spend. If you're taking a loan, for example, student loans, then what kind of loan is available to you in which destination, what would make better sense for you. So you have to analyze all of those things and not just apply for the sake of it being one of these fancy labels on your resume.
You mentioned about loans, so let's talk about that. So what is a typical structure? So how much is a loan student is able to take? What is the interest rate? So if we can walk through that calculation, so people listening, it will be helpful for them to understand and this concept, how much will they be
Yeah,
shelling out?
so
So mm,
sure. So, for an Indian student, the average loan for US somewhere around 20 lakhs. They try to apply for a average 20 lakh rupee loans. There are public sector banks, private banks, and NBFCs all operating out of India where loans are offered. Interest rates vary, from 8, 9 to 10, 11%, depending on what is the nature of the lender, what is the value of the loan that you've taken, how does the lender perceive you as a student in terms of your background, your collateral or non collateral background, whatever it is that you apply on the basis of. What are your credentials? What is the level of university that you're going to? Are you going for a program which is in demand? Are you going for a program which is very niche, and the blender doesn't really know if you can recover the cost of education in that country? So a lot of different parameters are at play when loans are concerned. But
can you
increasingly,
get
students are applying for loans.
a loan without collateral?
You can. There are players that do give loans without collaterals. There are some which would give loans all the way up to 30, 40 lakh also without collaterals. There are other riders to it, but yes, there are loans without collaterals also. And students from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, all kinds of cities from India are applying for loans. Tier 2 cities are one of the biggest loan applicants that we've seen comes from tier 2 cities. So loans are increasingly popular also, and they are a big benefit to students. In fact, one of the rise in student numbers going to study abroad has been the access to loans. That's one of the top reasons where students are increasingly studying abroad.
What is the duration of the loan? So you have to pay it back by in 5 years, 10 years, or
So in most cases, you repay once you finish your education, and then the repayment period starts. It depends on terms that you set with the lender. Again, many things are at play, so it's not one size fits all. The loan company will also give you an offer based on what is your background. Again, collateral hai ki nahi hai. What is the value of the loan? What is the tuition fee that you're going to be paying. So it depends on multiple different factors. But the great thing is that in most cases you start repaying once you finish your education.
yeah.
Just for example, like a recent article mentioned that from Gujarat itself, Gujarat is considered as a land of business people and businessmen, and highly entrepreneurial in nature. But from Gujarat itself, there was a 33% increase in loan dispersals just in a quarter. Around 6,700 students applied for loans just in one quarter in the last year. So that's a big rise in the from the general trend that has been. So overall, if you see a city like Gujarat with Ahmedabad, Baroda, Surat, Anand, Vidyanagar being the hubs, there are many more such centers in places like Punjab, Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka. So it's growing exponentially in that sense.
But then the question comes, why are people leaving India?
That's a great question. That should have been in the first. Why does this industry exist? But so some very good reasons are the fact that students come from backgrounds where, unfortunately or fortunately, they're not able to secure admissions in universities of their caliber in India. A top student in India would want to obviously go to study at a top university in India. Now, if you see the demand and supply, unfortunately, the number of universities, the volume of students that apply is such a mismatch that India cannot accommodate these students in their top universities or even in their mid-level universities. So an Indian student often, ends up studying abroad because of that they have the caliber, but they don't have an opportunity in India. They can't get into that particular university in India. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is that you're studying a program or you're studying a degree which is not as evolved, as far academically evolved in India. So corporates may be using it, but academia has not evolved into offering this degree. The faculty, the quality of faculty, the number of universities, the research opportunities is missing, and so students have no choice but to opt to study abroad. If you look at the STEM degrees, in the start of this discussion, we spoke about STEM. Now, STEM is entirely based on research and innovation. Unless you have research and innovation in that particular degree happening in your country, thriving in your country, it's not possible to find that degree. It's not possible to even find jobs after that degree. So, these are the top reasons why students are opting to study abroad.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, I think we are running out of time. Any comments from your side, Manisha? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, definitely, Ashish. Thanks for that. I think I'm very optimistic and proud about the fact that India is such a massive talent hub. We have the largest youth population in the world, and we are one of the largest also educated youth population, skilled youth population. All countries of the world which have the opportunity to take international students are looking at India to become a tech talent in their countries. From US to UK, Australia, Canada have always been, open arms. But France recently, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Switzerland, Finland. So, a lot of countries of the world who are looking at Indian students to contribute to their academic, their academic population. And so, I think it's a great market and a great opportunity for Indian students. So, one should consider all those options, study what you want, go to the right places. And I feel Career Mosaic is playing a great part in enhancing the tech population and the tech talent of India. Wherever in the world that an Indian settles in, the contribution to an Indian's life is something that keeps us going. So, yeah, we hope to continue that forever.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Manisha, for this wonderful talk. Really informative, and really engaging. You really helped us understand what's happening and at least helped me up to date myself. I graduated long time back, but yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashish. Thanks a lot.